Happy Tuesday, traders. It is Matt and Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading here to bring you your daily dose of Vwapvision's Stock Talk.
It's where we use the volume weighted average price, the best indicator on the market, to let us know exactly what's going on. So, kind of a busy day today, Matt. Even though it seemed kind of quiet, it's kind of a busy day. So it's time for some stock talk.
Sit back and fill your ear holes with the Stock Talk.
Well, Matt, you said Happy Tuesday, and I was thinking, oh man, it is only Tuesday. I've been thinking it was Wednesday almost all day, but I don't even know why. But anyhow, yeah, Happy Tuesday, my man. Let's just get right to it, shall we? Kind of a quiet looking day on the market, right? At first, uh, let's just look at the bonds quickly, and we'll just get that out of the way. This is a good thing, right? The IEF, the 7 to 10 year, is finding support right at the VWAP. We just use this as a proxy for the bond market, so it's nice to see bonds find support exactly where we want to see them find support. So, very good sign there. The S&P 500 closed down 0.7% today. I thought it was going to be a lot uglier than it was. It started off the day, I think it was down well over 1%, like 1.1%, pretty much right off the get-go. I was looking at a lot of stocks, and there were some pretty big hits, like 5%, 4%. I'm going, oh boy, here we go. We're going to start seeing, this is the correction, right? This is the start of the turn that we've been fearing, that we've kind of been talking about. So, but as I got home and as the day progressed and I started looking at some charts, my view kind of changed a little bit. So, a quiet day on the indexes. The Nasdaq Composite also down almost 1%, 0.9%. It did rally off the low a little bit, the opposite of the S&P. The S&P actually sold off pretty hard in the last 20 minutes of the session. Uh, and then the small caps sold off 1%, and the mid caps sold out 0.7%. And as always, with stocks going down, the VIX went up. So the VIX is still elevated. So we're still at a 24 on the VIX, which is a pretty high level. So the market, like we talked about yesterday, is still not really trusting this rally. And there's a lot of people that don't trust this rally. I saw quite a few posts on X today saying the correction's here, the turn is coming, this rally has seen its last legs. It's still too early to be trading aggressively, and they're right in that regard. It's still too early to be trading aggressively, but you could take selective risks, which is what we do.
Yep.
But all in all, it's a down day, right? It looks like a little bit higher volume, so technically a distribution day. Good old-fashioned higher volume selling is never a good sign. But once you start looking at some more stocks, you're going to be like, okay, I can see what JC's talking about. But first things first is I want to get into the absolute slaughter that biotechs had today. It is something, I mean, I don't know if I have seen in recent memory an entire sector kind of move in tandem like this. So we had quite a few stocks on the watch list just from the biosector alone. And as I'm going through looking at charts, just kind of see how it looked, I'm like, wow, that one got crushed. That one got crushed. And all of a sudden I noticed they were all the biotechs. So you had TG Therapeutics, like we talked about last week, had a really nice breakout, just got crushed, sold off 7.4% today. ADMA, this is probably the best one of it all. I mean, it's insane when a 2.5% drop doesn't ruin the chart. And it's probably the best looking chart of it all. But check some of these out. Down our ARGX down 6.3%. TVTX down 6.8%. It too was having a pretty decent looking breakout. Had some, I mean, not a clean follow through, but nonetheless, down 6.8%. Tarsus down 3.3%. Serapta, look at that, down 26%. CG Oncology down 23%. Krystal Biotech down 14%. XERS down 7.3%. Mirum down 7%. Arcadis down 7%. Legend Biotech down 6%. Protagonist down 5%. Catalyst Pharmaceuticals down 5%. Wriggle Pharmaceuticals down 4.4%. And on and on and on it goes. I mean, just a wholesale slaughter of the entire sector. I guess Anlin Pharmaceuticals was probably the best at only a 1.3% loss. But again, that's just that's one of the reasons why biotechs, or I mean, any stock could really scare you, but biotechs just in general tend to historically be volatile. And this just kind of proves it. I'm glad we didn't really participate in
Well,
any of these biotech breakouts, but holy cow, man. And then
it
the other thing
sounds
that's a
like
little, what was
it
that?
sounds like if from what I'm seeing here. So Peter Marks resigned as director of the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. They're essentially the ones that put up the roadblocks for, approval of drugs and stuff like that. So he resigned 5 weeks ago, and today they named a new director, and Vinay Prasad is his name. And apparently he is quite uh, anti easy entry into the drug sphere. So he's very much for more regulation, not less regulation.
Well, there you go. That explains a lot of that. So, holy cow! I mean, look at this. Is some of these charts are just brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
this CG Oncology probably not a good thing for CG Oncology. I mean, it wasn't in a position to trade anyways, but yeah, that's just that's something else. That's a perfect example of regulatory risk right there.
Oh,
On the flip side, gold. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm really surprised to see this from
wow.
gold. All the gold stocks that were looking like they were rolling over, all just came to life. Gold came to life today. I think this might actually be a new high, 315.59. Oh, no, very close. But
Wow.
in 3 days, has completely eclipsed the last 2 weeks of selling. That's pretty shocking, really. I don't know if I would be a big believer in that. Um, but yeah, wow,
Also
it's
on not high volume, but rising volume over the last 3 days too. So
yeah, and I think this found support. There's an average there somewhere. Probably, let's see if it's the 20. Yeah, right on the 20 day, which has found support at a couple of times, right? So, maybe this is legit. Maybe this will continue to move higher, which might not be the best thing that we want to see, right? We don't want to see that defensive play continue to dominate, but it could just be, I mean, who knows, man? If we're starting to see a sell-off in bonds and gold continuing to move higher, that's not really a good sign for what we want to see. So hopefully could just be a false move on gold. We get some support on bonds, and then we can see some equities ideally hold support at the VWAP here, like on the S&P around 55.60, and then move higher from there.
yeah.
One of the stocks I do want to talk about is DeFi Development. This is used to be Janover. This is one we've talked about a couple of times. It was $4 a share in April, and it's now $72 a share. So what they did was they converted basically the company was bought by a couple of Kraken former executives. They bought a majority share of the company and they converted it into a Solana holding company, is what they've done. And so it's effectively become a proxy similar to what MicroStrategy. They're just copying that playbook of what MicroStrategy did with Bitcoin. They're doing the same thing, but with Solana. The part when I was reading about this I can empathize with the poor guy, but even though I've never done anything on this scale, obviously, is the former, I think it was the former CEO or chief development officer or something like, the last name is Janover, Blake Janover. Right before this, sold 760,000 shares for $5 a piece. So on average, for a total of 5 million or close to $4 million. However, at today's prices, that would be about $54 million. So a $50 million pot left on the table there for that poor guy. But anyhow, this is now a Solana tracking stock is basically what it is. So you got to pay attention to Solana, and that's how DeFi is going to go. MicroStrategy, all this does is just mimic Bitcoin, right? And so you kind of see the same thing with DFDV from now on. So very interesting little. I just wanted to bring that up. That poor guy,
Yeah.
man. I'd feel bad about that.
Oof.
Okay, on to some good stocks. Now, this is
Hey.
why as I was looking at charts throughout the day, I felt a little bit more bullish because a lot of the stocks that won started down really big, uh, closed up pretty good, and Hims is a really good example of that. This was one of our watch list stocks yesterday. It was on our Arrow review. Obviously a little extended now, but the buy point when we give everybody the arrows is basically the high of that day of the day before. So today's high or yesterday's high was 43.10. That works as your pivot. You go of a quarter percentage point or a nickel or a dime, whatever you want to use, above that point, and then that's when the buy zone starts. And so, I mean, if you would have been lucky enough to buy it at that point, you're already up 14, 15%. So, Hims in its own right was up to 18% on the day, massive spike in volume. I have a feeling this is earnings announcements because it was down. The next earnings is 8.4. So, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Looks like earnings were last night, opened up down, and then just rallied out throughout the day. So, nice strong breakout there. Paymentus, it too survived in its earnings report. New high after its breakouts. Paymentus is looking good. Vistra, a nice strong follow through after yesterday's breakout. So that's a positive sign, especially when the market's starting to show a little bit of weakness and you're seeing these leaders really lead. This is what we're looking for. Landbridge, again, this was a stock I wasn't really a believer in, but it's proving me wrong. Tried to shake out here, found support at the VWAP and is continuing to move higher, near a new high after its breakout. Dave, again, shook me out. I was following my rules, right? 20 minutes
Yep.
later, it proved me wrong, and it's continuing to move higher, up 1.1%. Argan, this is one I do have, and so I'm happy to see it's up 2.4% today. Road, this one broke out a couple weeks ago. There's two potential buy points. There's this one right here on this day down at 82.14, and then you just can't. I can't quite tell if this is above or below the VWAP. Kind of looks below it. The algorithm maybe would let us know for sure. But anyhow, I just marked this just as because that's a clear breakout there. But
Hey.
Road Construction Partners hit a new high after its breakout as well. And then same thing, we've got a couple of stocks moving up the list too. Remitly Global, it's approaching its VWAP. AppLovin, it's hanging right on its VWAP. Alaska Airlines, it's making a nice move up towards its VWAP. Then
All
Viant
right.
Technologies, a nice move right up towards its VWAP as well. So
Viant
those
was really
are
good
the
for us last
stocks.
last green zone.
What was that?
Viant was really good to us last green zone.
It was kind of a round tripper. You just do your old fashioned, just sell on the way up and then cut your losses when it comes back to earth, right? And so, that was a good one. But it's setting up again. So that's what gave me the confidence. Simply just looking and finding some of these stocks that perform like this. You don't really see this. We never saw this in the past when the market was really showing weakness. Attempted breakouts just got crushed immediately, right? Like the next day they're down 3, 4, 5%. You're not seeing a lot of these stocks holding up and moving higher. Now I did get hit today on Everquote, and I'm a little mad at myself because I bought it not recognizing that earnings was today. And I bought it yesterday on this shakeout. I'm looking at it. I kind of talked myself into it because it was right here, and I'm like, nah, it's too extended. But then as I'm looking at a lot of these former breakouts, I'm like, a lot of these breakouts that have really worked out, I thought they were extended when they broke out too. So, I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy this one just because I like how it potentially shook out. So I took a
Yeah.
nab on it and didn't see that the earnings for today, and it went the opposite direction. It was down 12%. So I was like, gosh darn it. So I ended up moving out of that and put that money right into Calmaine. So a nice strong Calm trying to shake out, nice strong recovery rebound. So broke out of this little downtrend here. So I just moved it right into that. So I'm
Nice.
pretty excited about that little move. So like I said, that's what gave me a little bit of an excitement about today. We'll see. The Federal Reserve meets tomorrow. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think the right thing would be to not do anything. But what's going to be important is if they give any sort of guidance as to what they're hearing from companies, what they're thinking about inflation moving forward, what they're thinking about the economy, obviously. and what the path is going to be for interest rates for their next meeting. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow. I'm thankful that we're seeing a little decline into the VWAP for that because it's kind of setting up for a bounce right off that VWAP. But the Fed is the Fed, right? They could kill this thing with a word. So you got to keep your tail, your ears up, I guess, your defensive up a little bit.
There you
But
go.
don't be afraid to take advantage of some of these moves because this is a tradable rally. Whether or not we're at the end of it or it's just in the middle of it is yet to be seen. But I have hope, more hope than I did at the beginning of the session, than I do right now for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, it's really exciting, and it's something that we're definitely going to be watching every single day. So make sure you come back here, Spotify, YouTube, watch us Patreon. Make sure you consume this daily so that way you can stay up to date on exactly what's happening. That being said, follow us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, especially on Spotify and YouTube. Click those like, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're getting us every single day. And then for those who want access to our algorithmic daily buy and sell signals, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. You can subscribe to the free tier there, and you'll get in your inbox daily when we post these videos. So that way you can be the first to watch. But if you do want to subscribe to the paid tier, that's where you get access to our algorithm. Or for more information, just check out Vwapvision.com. That's VWAPvision.com. And as always, happy trading.
Happy trading, everybody. And Matt, we'll see you during Arrow Review.
See you then, buddy.